Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Wednesday morning. Can y'all believe it is February the 1st? January is over with, and it just flew by. I tell you, it just, I couldn't believe I didn't get all the things done I wanted to get done in outdoors especially. But anyway, here we are in February, so it's a short month. And if you notice, the days are getting a little bit longer, and you can still see the daylight coming in a little bit, and so a little bit longer afternoon, so we're gradually getting there. So the weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and the hard-working crew, taking care of our everyday comfort needs. We're looking at a high today of 74. And low's only going to go down to like 68, so it's going to be warm. Got this early spring, and we talk about that every year about the weather. So it hits these warm periods of time, then cold and then warm. So I'll tell you what I've been impressed with. We made a couple last week or two. We've been going out of town a couple of times. We went up to Dothan Saturday. It was Gail's sister's birthday. So all the way to Dothan, we just saw the one tree that always bloomed. Two trees always bloom early. There's a crabapple, but the one that's beautiful is the Japanese magnolia. And they were blooming all the way, all through Highway 77 and different places getting to Dothan. So they're beautiful if you're noticing the real early signs of spring, but spring's not here yet. But anyway, let's move on to weather. I digress. The river readings, Apalachicola, Blountstown, high. Okay, it's at 15.1 this morning. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, right over 10 foot. I do have a little bit of drop to them. We may have some more rain coming in tomorrow. So this is that wintertime high water we deal with. And I mentioned yesterday, be careful on high water, just floating objects and everything, especially when the water rises quick. And we talk about that a lot too. Take a look at our tide chart. February 1st, here's our tide chart. We have a low tide this morning at 5:17 and a high tide at 6:42. Our wind's going to be variable coming in from south-southeast at about 6 to 10, which is pretty seasonal right now this time of year. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get caught up on the pictures. So far, I've been really enjoyed this week. Monday's show was Ken Paramore, and then on the other extreme of the age group, we had Students of the Month. So all different ages absolutely love the outdoors and enjoy sharing that with our viewers. So today you just got me, so have to settle for that. Okay, let's take this first picture. I want to congratulate the Liberty County Anglers high school team. Folks, Caden Branch and Connor Beach took first place and big fish in the Strike King Bassmaster Open on a Harris chain in Leesburg. If you know anything about bass fishing, that Harris chain is a great place to fish, and they got 24 pounds out of 5 fish. Here's a picture here. 24 pounds is is really big. So good job to Caden and Connor for the Liberty County Bass Team. All right, so now let's go moving on. Just a flashback. I just want to show you, it did snow here 9 years ago, 2 days ago, 9 years ago, and we built a snowman. That's Mason and Ashley, and people are asking when's the last time it snowed here. I think it was 9 years ago, and that was in the 9 years ago. Okay, this is hilarious, okay, because of the Billy Grantham. Folks, this is a Blountstown Police Department. I don't know a lot of the guys. Billy is the young man in the top left-hand corner. Does that look like Billy? All right, Billy, thanks for sharing that with us. That was way back in the first years of he's working for the Blountstown Police Department. All right, moving on, some outdoor stuff. Steve Barnett sent this, and this is interesting. First of all, interesting because he's still having to work on his property. I've been on a bulldozer all week pushing dead trees from the hurricane at the lake property. This hawk follows me everywhere. He's not scared of me or there's lots of noise. In fact, I can walk right up to the hawk talking to it. I've never seen one not scared of people. Pretty cool. So here are the pictures here. And I was thinking, Steve, he'd been around people before. I just wondered if he'd been injured or something, but that is cool. He showed some great pictures of them. They need to give him a name now and let him hang around. I'll throw some rats out so we can eat those. But Good pictures. Steve Barnett, outdoorsman. Speaking of outdoor people, our own Mandy Warren. Okay, this guy refused to leave his roadkill today. We all had to drive around him. And a couple of days ago, a huge owl tried to get my dachshund. Oh man. And luckily he's really overweight, so it only punctured his tail in and scared the stew out of him. And anyway, keep your little dog, small pets inside. They are on the prowl, and they can really, we lost a small dog one time to actually a coyote, but the birds, I've seen eagles fly down, okay, and get them. Billy Grantham said this, Alex, drill bit back sleep. That's a fine buck there. Good job, Alex. Baxley up there in Jackson County. Harris Marshall, good fishing today. Needed 4 more of these to compete with the prison family. This is really good. Harris is one this duck behind me. He mounted that duck in outdoor ed class. Skin mounted it, and it's on the shelf behind me. You see it. Good job, Harris. And what he's talking about, he needed 4 more of those to compete with the pigeons, who actually won the deer point. And folks, they won deer point with 23, right at 24 pounds. That is hard to do on deer point, I'm telling you. And Dad and I got to win the deer point, and then went on down and said would have been even better if he had an 8+ on and it broke him off at the boat. Probably won't ever top that weight again, but congratulations to the pigeons. That's a big mess of fish coming out of Deer Point Lake in the last week of January. Good job, fellas. Let's jump over there to saltwater. All kinds of things happen here in the Panhandle. Chuck Oliver called this as sun was going down. That's a doormat, 18.5-inch flounder. Good job, Chuck Oliver. I'm going to show one more. This is a throwback way back, it wasn't way back, a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Time flies, but that's coming around the corner. We're going to talk a little bit about surf fishing today. Okay, that's Mr. Brudnicki. Thought the world of Mr. Brudnicki. Okay, from Eddie White. Coach, look at this big buck that my youngest son killed this morning. Justin White. Good job, Justin. That is a nice buck up there in Bonifay. Good job. Okay, let's go and we've got a lot more pictures. Let's go and take a break, and then we'll come back with some more pictures. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I mentioned in that picture earlier, Harris Marshall caught that one big bass and said it needed 4 more. And I said, Harris is one that actually, he mounted this duck. This was his class project in outdoor ed. What's special about this? This is what he called a skin mount. It takes so much time. It took days and days for him to actually get it right, hour after hour of skinning it out and getting it right. But this is a bluebill, and that's an amazing job of mounting right there. So Harris Marshall Brothers construction up there, okay? Now, let's move on. One thing I want to share with you, talking about the pictures I share, we're doing now, I want to just talk a second about the technology of how we've been able to advance along, and Jeff has been helping us so much in doing this. In the early years, I ran across this the other day. In the early years, this is how we did it, okay? We'd have a picture, we'd set them up, and Jeff had it on the camera, so we had to print every picture. You can't imagine us printing all these pictures now to show you, but I started looking, I ran across this stack the other day, and this was the top 10 surf fishing spots in the Florida Panhandle. So I just wanted to share, okay, this is right here, number 1, St. George Island State Park, okay, so you see that, St. George Island State Park. Number 2, Indian Pass right there cut. Now go to Google Earth and show you, but okay, number 2, but this is old school, I got a kick out of it. Number 3 was Stump Hole at Cape Sandblast. The stumps aren't there anymore, and you're gonna have to get in line to, the erosion there has changed so much, but that was a good place to go. Mexico Beach was number 4, okay, Mexico Beach was number 4. You see how technology has advanced. Tyndall Beach, on the east end of Tyndall Beach, was number 5. San Andreas State Park, number 6, okay. And this is not in order of the best places to go. I just started on the east end working westward. Camp Helen State Park, still a good place, but you gotta walk a little bit. Raton Beach State Park, I love going that place, but again, it's pretty crowded, real crowded. Topsail Hill, that's sort of hard to get to, but it's a great place to go. That was number 9, and then number 10, Henderson Beach State Park. But what I want to share with you how the technology, I don't have to do this anymore. What we do now, my iPad has all these pictures on them, and then Jeff just switches camera. We've saved a lot of trees, and we had printed all that paper and saved a lot of printing ink from when we first started doing Panhandle Outdoors. So let's go to some more of these pictures. Well, let me see, where were we? We got the picture. Okay, right here. And I can just go right through them. Elizabeth Murphy and Clay Murphy, that's our from Weewall. We had Elizabeth talk about her. The last morning hunt. They're duck hunting down at Apalachicola Bay. It was a slow one. But look at this second paragraph. I will always be grateful for these moments and the beauty of nature. It never gets old. I have one more afternoon hunt to go, and it's time to get the fishing poles out. She took some pictures. Look at that eagle there. And then here's a great picture Elizabeth took. So, see, even though they didn't, it was we have slow days fishing and hunting, and you still have beautiful nature around you. And I appreciate Elizabeth appreciating that. Good job from Weewall. Boone Phillips, Melissa Phillips. Okay, so excited and blessed to have gotten this big guy on our last hunt this morning, an Alabama whitetail. Melissa Phillips, she's one of the former students. She lives in Nashville, but she comes down to hunt with her family and all. Good job, Melissa. Hope all is going well in Nashville. Okay, the folks up speaking of Nashville and Birmingham and all, we love the beach and just want to get your toes in the sand. Just build your little sandbox under your desk and put your toes in the sand. You guys and girls on YouTube up there in Colorado, Indiana, next time you're down here, take some of that sand back with you. In wintertime, do that. Okay, Happy New Year, Coach. This is a great story here. Marcus Parrish, good guy. Hey, hello, Coach. And I like to read these to you because the stories behind these is always just special. The good Lord of ours blessed me this weekend with a good one Saturday. This nice 8-point came running into within 35 yards when I shot him, right from the first rattling session. So he'd rattled him up. He was all bristled up, ears pinned back, and ready to throw down. Not realizing he'd just been hoodwinked. Looks like the rut is just starting to get going, and I feel like it would be a good one this year. This crazy weather will cool off and stay that way. Also, while I have you, please add my name, and we'll do that. Marcus Parrish. So he rattled this one up. Is that not look at that buck there. Here's a good picture of Marcus. That's a big, look how big that body is, and big horns. And then okay, I got, speaking of technology, there's Marcus right there. Good job, Marcus Parrish, and thank you for sharing that with our viewers and all. I know you're going to enjoy that venison. I got a couple of more announcements here. This Saturday now is a Winter Bay Day celebration with the Friends of St. Joseph Preserve. And if it rains this Saturday, right now it doesn't look like it's going to rain. But they have a shrimp boil, and you get a chili preserve at 9:30, 11. That's when the tours are. And then it's at right there on 30A. And the shrimp boil is from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And a $15 donation, that money goes to a good cause. So I don't know if we'll make it or not. I want to come out of this one, okay? Okay, so one more story. This is one of them. Okay, good morning, Coach Chester. Just want to pass along a few photos of my first buck. I started dozing off this morning and picked my head up one last time to check things out before a nap and saw him about 70 yards out. I had to catch my breath and get him in the crosshairs, and boom, it was a nice 8-point. Thanks so much for everything you taught all of us throughout the years. I look forward to many more years of hunting and outdoor appreciation. Brady Barton, and Brady was class of 2013, and he was such a good student, a good kid, and a good young man. And I'm so glad, Brady, you're doing outdoor activities now, and that that is a fine buck for your first one. Look at Brady. Good kid. Really enjoyed having him in class, and always appreciated his love for the outdoors. Okay, so anyway, if I could go on and on. When we get these pictures and we add these stories to it, like Elizabeth Murphy, most of these are my former students, and so they know how I feel about it. In turn, we know how you feel about the outdoors. So when you add the story to it, like Brady and Elizabeth, had a slow day hunting, but she took some great pictures of the eagle. Brady, here he is in a tree stand doing like most of us, about to doze off, and then all of a sudden see that big buck, and y'all can envision that and picture that. That's why I enjoy sharing the stories with y'all and everything. So anyway, we'll get ready to take a final break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 7:45 a.m. to 9:45, and then this evening 8:10 to 10:10. Bill Roxby over at Santa Rosa Beach is good about sending us videos, and he's got his backyard set up where it's a sort of a natural habitat, and looks like a Florida savanna with the pine trees. But anyway, I'm going to show you. He said this is a buck in his backyard now. Okay, so here we go. So, okay, but that's his backyard. The buck's on the prowl. You can tell the rut is on. So this is right where the grass hits the pine straw. The buck is looking around. And what does the buck see back over there? Slow panning. Good job. And there's a doe. Okay. I mean, this is nature at its finest right here. So the doe is coming back, and the buck. Of course, the buck wants to get closer to the doe. And Bill is able to observe this. Okay, now let's go to the other one. Let's see. Let me see. I believe is this when he starts walking, or is that the same one? Oh, that's the same one, Jeff. Let me get back to his other one. Okay, this is the second one now. Okay, so now here we go. So now the buck starts moving toward the doe. This is exactly what happened. The doe takes off. See the doe taking off, running back through the woods. And of course, the buck is going to continue, and this is what they do in nature. They're going to continue trailing that doe, and sometimes doe. Okay, and that's it. Bill Roxby, thank you for sending that. That's some really cool stuff. That shows really what's going on in nature, and for you to observe that in your backyard, wow. And then for you to video it. And the video are good because you were panning so slow. A lot of us get, even not much as I videoed, I still get excited. Look at that big fish, look at that big buck, and you just did it slow and easy. That's really good stuff. So I appreciate that, Bill, but what a replicating nature right there as to what's going on. We still haven't finished our pictures. We just got just a couple more. I wanted to, let me show you. Okay, first of all, another announcement here. Trout season, okay, closes today. Spotted sea trout harvest closes in the western Panhandle, that's us, Escambia County, all the way through portions of Gulf County, and this is the spotted sea trout will open back up March the 1st. But okay, now this is west, but not including Indian Pass and Indian Lagoon. This is sort of, there's a line down there, and there's a longitudinal line, basically. And when Travis comes on next week, I'm going to try to get him to explain exactly where that line is. At one time, you could not, it was all the Gulf County, so you could not bring the trout. You could fish out there in Apalachicola Bay, but you couldn't bring the trout back into the boat landing there at Indian Pass because that's Gulf County. But now, I don't know if they're including that boat ramp or not, so we'll get that clarified for you. Right now, I wouldn't take a chance on it, but anyway, I think in the past that was Gulf County. But anyway, so that's it's closed for this month. It has been for quite some time now. But you can still go on fishing, you just can't keep them. Okay. I want to talk a minute. Let me see. I got one more flashback. This is my trip up in up in Greenville, Alabama, with Tim Jennings and Mike Williams. Mike Williams' old place up in Greenville, and that was a cold morning hunting in Alabama. And we had a great morning. That was a good memory that we had from 11 years ago. I think 11 years ago. But anyway, I love these Facebook memories when we get them. I want to talk. Remember we had Ken Paramore on the show the other day, and we talked about all the birds he's seeing and all, and we talked about the hawks and different species of hawks. And they're hard to differentiate. So I looked up last night, and it's sort of. I just want to show you 4 hawks that we have here in Florida. And here's one right here. This is, you can look at Florida birds, Florida hawks. Okay, this is what we call the red-tailed hawk. Okay, and you see a lot of these. That's a red-tailed hawk right there. Okay, and they're very, very dominant throughout. Then the next, but what gets people confused though, the next one, this is a red-shouldered hawk. You see the difference? A red shoulder hawk, a red shoulder hawk has more red on it, okay? See right in there, the reddish, brownish. They're hard to differentiate. In fact, I can't tell the difference. I just call them, look at that red hawk there. But anyway, that one there, and then this one is you don't see a lot of these, a sharp shin hawk. And you can read all the details on them, but one of the differences in the beak right there. See the difference in the beak? Okay, I know Ken Paramore, you're watching. I know next time you come on, you can bring this last one right here. We have what's called a short-tailed hawk. It's a smaller hawk right here, and that's it. So I wanted to anyway. And when you get the list of hawks and everything, and talk about the different hawks, that they're hard to talk about as far as differentiate and all that. Okay, one more quick announcement. I got a call from Matthew Grantham. He wanted me to be sure. Talk about the Bonifay Holmes Creek Long Spurs. This is going to be February the 11th. And it's going to be in the Bonifay K8, and doors open at 5:30. And they have already sold, I want to say, 19 tables, and his goal was to get 20 tables. So now you can go as a participant, just single. And I love going to all these outdoor festivities, and because something like this is a good fundraiser. Matthew Grantham has done an excellent job getting it started up there around Bonifay, and a lot of folks have been going to it. And if I'm in town, I'll flat sure be there. Ken said he's going to be there, I want to encourage you to go to it. So all these outdoor things going on, if you get a chance to send it to me and I'll pass it on to you. But Matthew, want to be sure and let you folks know about it. It's right around the corner, and that would be a fun time will be had by all. And there'll be all kinds of stories told, and just good food and just good fellowship with outdoorsmen. So that's going to wrap it up for the day. I tell you what, I still have stuff on my schedule I hadn't gotten to, so I enjoy sharing it with you and talking to you about it. Thank y'all for sending all that stuff in, okay? Y'all do something good today for fellow man. Enjoy your very first day of February today. Enjoy the great outdoors, and you have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.